Hello,
Hey
hello
everyone.
everyone.
So we are back again with a headshot.
Hmm. Th-
Not so a headshot. So we are back again with a whole new video, new stream. So hello everyone. So Akhil, what is the today's topic?
Today's topic is a little bit sensitive topic. Not little, it's a lot sensitive topic. It's the recently we have saw that the Afghanistan has been taken over by a terrorist organization. So we will be talking around that, like what is really happening over there, what has happened, and in this time, in this modern time, such activity or such kind of like terrorism is happening, and every country is just keeping their search. So we'll be talking about that.
All right. So who is going first?
You will nominate anyone who will go first.
So Rishabh, do you want to go first or Abhishek?
Okay, but I have to took only some few points regarding this. There, everything have some negative and some positive point, but for this scenario, almost 90% is negative.
Yeah, yeah.
and and the 10% which is positive thing, I think everyone, you all of you give the negative point, and I want to give positive point. Actually, the country is controlled by the one, when country is controlled by the one organization, the rate of crime is decreased actually, due to the fear and many things. Just we have seen the in scenario of Gaddafi,
Gaddafi.
and the when the US strike the Gaddafi country and kill the Gaddafi, the country will destroy after the death of Gaddafi. Gaddafi is also a dictator. They manage the whole country. In but the negative point is that they have their own rules, and they treat the people as a slave,
Oh,
and they made the many unnecessary rules. And in the Afghanistan, we all know that they follow the Muslim Muslim
Sharia
rules.
law.
Yeah, Sharia law, in which the empowerment of the woman was not even not a little bit actually. And this is the one of the most negative point of this point,
yeah.
this scenario. That's all. I will join later.
So Akhil or Abhishek, who is going to be the next?
Okay, I have some points too. Okay, first we talk about Afghanistan. Like why America have like given so much thing to Afghanistan? Why Afghanistan is important? So history begins from the past time, from 2001 years. Afghanistan is actually the place where it's not kept. It's captured by so many kingdoms. Okay, and so many countries also. So, because of their natural resources, Afghanistan have natural silicon is also there in the Afghanistan, which can also be provided to China. So that's why like America holds the power of Afghanistan, so that they can use that natural resource. Uranium is also there in Afghanistan. So many reasons, sir. But like where this the terrorist happen? Okay, so terrorist it's not like it's come in 90s 90 in 20th century or 21st century. It's actually a word which we pronounce, and it is discovered in 17th and 16th century. I think so. I'm not right. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. Okay. And what happened in the when there is a cold war between Russia and America, USA. Like at that time, this USSR is there, Soviet Union. So like America wants country to be republic, they have some constitution and they have to be democratic, so that they have their president, their prime minister as per their policy. But like as we all know, USSR support dictatorship. Okay, communist thing is there in like Russia. So they want power in Afghanistan. So Russia actually came earlier in Afghanistan in Cold War period, and for that, like in the Middle East, the Russia have the power. Like Kazakhstan is also there, and Iraq is also there, and America don't want to lose that power. So there are some some people in group which we call now it's now Taliban. It's actually a riot group which didn't support the Russia come to Afghanistan. They didn't support any country who came to Afghanistan. Okay, so in that time, USA provide weapons so that they can capture the power of Russia, so that they can take over the power of communist thing. Okay, and so that also the America can take over that. But in 1996, I think in 1996, Taliban captured the whole Afghanistan, and they rule around 5 years, approximately 5 years. And in 2001, USA take over the charge with the support of like UAE. So this is actually happened. But now the terrorists rebound and they recapture the whole Afghanistan, because like when this is this policy of Biden actually, when Democratic Party and two parties are also there, two parties there in the USA. So when Donald Trump is there, he support actually the Afghanistan, the power of Afghanistan, because he knows if we return back, then there will be some like Taliban takes over that. Okay, so this kind of thing is happened. And then when Biden's comes, by Biden see like there is so many losses are there in the Afghanistan. They didn't get any profit for it. So it's actually I feel this all thing is actually happened because of America. The Western, we actually say the Western policy, and like because they want to sell their particular things, which is weapons to countries. If they didn't fear to anyone, like in India, if India didn't fear to anyone, then why India will buy a large number of weapons from America? Why UAE will buy a large amount of from America? So this is all because of like they want some business from there. Okay, that's why they are actually doing. So my point is, if anyone want to add something or if anyone want to correct me, they can.
Yeah, go. Akhil, you want to?
No, no, you will continue and then I'll do.
Okay. So first of all, I
Otherwise,
want.
you will say that I am stealing your points.
No, no, it's not like that. You can
Yeah.
steal it if you want to.
Al always Adi told that Akhil is stealing my points.
Already he stole my points.
Aditya, please increase your voice little bit. Your
Yeah.
voice is too low.
Is it still low? Hello, hello.
Yeah, it's good now.
Okay. Let me check the audio levels. Hello, hello,
No, no, it's good. It's good.
hello. Yeah, okay. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the Taliban. Like this organization, this terrorist organization, Taliban took over Afghanistan, right? So how did this Taliban came into picture? So basically, when there was like, let's get back to the Britishers' rule. So Britishers like this England and this European countries, they are in the main power. This England, this Britishers, these are the main powers, and then the West. So these two were the major powers at the time. And soon after India got independence, like so yeah, soon after India got independence, Pakistan formed out of it, right? 1 year later, 48, 48 or 49, 48, I think, right?
What?
In,
What?
when did Pakistan formed out of India? 1 year after
97.
independence, right? Or,
No, one day afterwards, that only 15 August 1947
mm-hmm.
and it's 16 August 1947. At that time, the both country got formed.
Okay. So, anyways, so after
I
that,
think it's 14 August.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they celebrate in the 14 August. We celebrate in 15 August just because of little time difference.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, and so Pakistan came into picture, and after that, whole of this like Kashmir thing happened. like the attacks of this Kashmir and the whole the heat in the Kashmir and the heat between the India and Pakistan has happened. And also like at that time, I have to think a little bit like how did this actually happen. So basically I want to make a point how this America is responsible for formation of Taliban. Like they used to supply the weapons and everything, advanced weaponry and everything to these groups so that they can uh, so that it will always be in chaos, so that the country will remain in chaos for longer time. If you talk about the Iraq and sorry, which country? Iraq and
Iran and Iraq.
yeah, Iran and Iraq. So there the conditions are terrible. Like there are very less residential areas. You can see that everyday bombing is happening, and the places are very much like trashes actually. So they are not livable. So this is how the scenario is there, and how this all happened because of this USA supplied weaponry to these these terrorists. So this is how, and now so this is how Taliban formed actually. I didn't recall the actual facts how it actually like I don't
I
have any facts to like balance this. Yeah, Rishabh, you do you have anything?
Yeah, I think I know about that America formed the Taliban group.
Yeah,
Yeah, they use the Taliban for their purpose,
yeah,
but due to the conflict of interest, and another thing also, they supply the weapon from their holy places actually, and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they made the army camp along the side of holy places. Forgot the
Yeah,
name of
in the Mac
in the
Mecca,
in the
Mecca,
Mecca
I
they
guess.
created.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right, right.
For this purpose, Taliban get opposed to the America.
Yeah, and for various other reasons, like you can.
Yeah, and another thing also,
Oh, sorry.
after the incident of 26/11,
Hmm.
American also bombing the Afghanistan that time.
Yeah, so it was like that. Like America always wanted to be in power, to be the world power actually, to be precisely. So that's how like these whole things happened. And now why this terrorist group will took over any country, like why they want to form a government or why they want to set policies, because they want to like they have some sort of rules, like they want to oppose this America in what we can say, uh, not with the like one to one combat, but with the international politics. I can see
No, internet. Uh,
like they want to
uh,
get recognized basically.
One thing also, there is no even there is not a crystal clear who is bad, who is
Hmm.
good
Yeah.
actually. Yeah, and another thing is, so Taliban are also not so bad. They are made by the American government
Hmm.
actually,
Yeah.
and the many purpose also. In the bombing of American in 2001, there are several families are dead, which
Innocent
are
families. Yeah.
innocent. Even and they start just a simple thought. If my family was bombed in that scenario, I will also joined the Taliban against
Taliban.
them.
Yeah.
And the Taliban also, of course, they need the one strong government and one strong country to rule and to take took their voice.
Mm. Right.
Yeah.
And right now, like everyone said that America might have dropped like they might have opposed this Taliban if they interfere between the Afghanistan government and Taliban, but they didn't. So why this
Yeah,
happened? Because yeah,
I maybe in the future the
they might
conclusion is that
yeah.
same as happened in the Gaddafi
Yeah.
rule. Yeah.
So that's the whole point I want to share. Like America always wanted to be in the world power, so that's how they work. basically. That's how they like.
One thing more I have to add,
Hmm.
like why no, but like why America or any country can't capture Afghanistan? There is one question which every day arises.
Because
The
the terrain,
uh,
because of the terrain.
No,
terrain is also there. So the second thing is like I want to add, like the Afghan people. Okay, if you talk about the Afghan people, they are like there's somebody like they are America is not from the Afghanistan. There is no relation of America in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Okay,
Hmm.
the place is for the Afghans only. Okay,
Hmm.
where they live, where they have their their history and everything. So if they if they are not in the Afghanistan, then they Taliban. If you talk about the Taliban, where they will go? That's the main point. That's why they are fighting for their. There is a
Existence
word.
basically.
Yeah, that is actually they are fighting for them. Okay,
and
that's why. You can.
and another thing also, no other country want to capture the Afghanistan due to why? Because secretly China is supporting the Taliban, and the Afghanistan is the only route from where the China is trading the Pakistan and many other countries.
Yeah, countries
The
like
other,
And
I think
if
United Arab
India.
anyone
Emirates.
if anyone want to capture the Afghanistan, then the China will be oppose it. And
But
China
like,
is normally a strong country and powerful
like
country.
I have to add for the reserve point, the earlier like China have the supply of their oil and all the minerals from Iran, Iraq is from the sea route. Okay, so
Hmm.
when the war happens, like if the war happens between India and China, so what happened? Like India is actually like it's actually doing literally well in waterways. Okay, like in ocean and in the
Yeah,
sea,
naval
they
forces. Yeah.
actually captured everything. And if this happens, so what will India do? They will just blockade the entire China route from the Iraq and Iran, so that the oil can't be like reach the
Supplied.
China,
Yeah.
but from the waterways. So in that way, China is actually making highways from Pakistan, and there is a situation which is that like POK is also involved and Afghanistan part is also involved, so that they can make a easier pass from their supply and for the like oil. If they don't have the oil, they will easily like lose the war. Okay, that's why they are like the importance of Afghanistan is literally important from them.
Yeah. So that's nice point. So Akhil, do you want to add to this?
Yes, everyone talked about like Abhishek put it beautifully the history of the Afghanistan, that how Taliban was formed. Rishabh, when you talked about the geopolitical importance of the Afghanistan, and my take on this will be not regarding the who's bad, who's good, but actually the problems which arose when the Taliban, like captured the whole Afghanistan. People were fleeing from there, and the government of the, at that time, the president and all the what we can say
Ran off from
politicians
there.
of, they
Ran
ran.
away. Yeah.
But like in the war of the America's dominancy, the Taliban's capture, the people who suffered, they like they are the real sufferers. So
Hmm.
unnecessary they are getting killed, unnecessarily women getting raped, unnecessary their rights are being snatched. It's not like that. The Rishabh told about the crime ratio, like why the crime ratio is going down. But the crime ratio is going down, but there are very less people who are like
Happily
in a
living
good
there.
condition
Yeah.
over there.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So the first
and
thing will be like the country is not it's not a place to live on. Like Afghanistan is not remain a place where you will be getting a good health facility or something like that, because everything is under your gun. Whatever will be against the government or a single against the government, you will be getting shot at that time, at that point. We have seen, we have listened very heartbreaking news when the Taliban was capturing over Afghanistan. Like a girl was shot, a man was shot, and people were like catching the flights. People are in like running flights. They are trying to catch the flights. People are died inside the what we can say the wheels of the
runway.
aeroplanes
Yeah.
and whatnot. And also, uh, if a country does not have a good health facility, does not have a
Infrastructure.
great educational great educational facility infrastructure, because these things are really important, like to survive there. We know that Abdul Rashid Khan is a great bowler from Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is also not in Afghanistan. He was like pleading to save his country and all. And why USA retreated is only because their money was wasting on that. Because to balance these, some part of Afghanistan was in the capture of Taliban, and some part were in the capture of the government, and government was doing really good over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the Afghanistan needed support of not only America through the military, but the other countries also. Like India was supporting on building dams and all. India was building a Gwadar port over there, and other countries are too supporting little by little bit. But the problem is, that United Nations is also formed for the same purpose, to support a country which is falling down. In Africa, several countries are getting money and what we can say wealth benefit and health benefits from the United Nations. But what is the purpose of all these big organizations if they are not be able to save a country from going into downs of the terrorist? Like how you can really, like we are living in the world which is connected. Every country is connected with each other to supply some good or another.
And yet we fail to like.
And now, like, who will going to Afghanistan to, like for tourism? There are places which might be look good, but the infrastructures is been damaged. Like the people are not there. Like people will not be able to serve you good, and the freedom is also snatched. Rishabh told about the rights of education. The women empowerment is really really less.
And
Like
the
women are not allowed to study at all.
Hmm.
Like how something will be doing like that, like no one will be do. It's really hard to imagine at this era, that in this information era these things are happening. So like
Yes, this
we
is like what I have to add. Like, if like as you told Akhil, like what the America did and also the big why the big organizations is there if they can't hold the Afghanistan. Okay, so I have one thing as like if America is like leaving the country, that's okay. Okay, they have their interest and they lost their interest. They don't have any profit, so they are leaving, but they have the power in UN. Okay, they have the power in Security Council. What they can do, they just can keep the peacekeeping force, UN peacekeeping force before they leave, so that the process of the government and the army or the, like terrorists will be okay. And after the situation, they can leave that. The peacekeeping force is there, but they here that is not happen. So I can assume like America wants like
It to be
Taliban
chaotic
takes
every.
the
Yeah.
Afghanistan
Yeah. That's a clear
for
like,
the
I
intention.
sake of
totally,
interest.
I totally agree that the Afghanistan has been pressed in the selfishness of few countries, the China and the USA. Okay, so Russia is now out of the league of that.
Hmm.
Like Russia played the very important and crucial role in the 1900, 1950 to 2000. That was like a big power at that time. It's now, but it's not affecting that much. It's not having that much power that it possessed at some time. Now China is the bigger power of Asia. So in between Asia, USA, and their selfishness, this country, the whole country got collapsed.
Yeah.
It's not just example of, like Afghanistan. I'm giving the Ukraine is also a country which is getting like raptured by the Russia. Okay, so it's just everyone is protecting their own country. And in we always talk about globalization. Okay, we are having various summits in the globe all around the year, the G22, G18, G what not, and the United Nations peace, everything. United Nations peace was formed just to protect the world from getting to the third world war. And instead of getting third world war, we are getting wars every third day in the every third day in the earth. So that is the main problem. Like I'm thinking of that, really it is very good to be in a, like, it can happen to any country. Like if the USA is now powerful, it won't be powerful always. And if they are not, like retaliating against the if they are not attacking the Taliban today, if the Taliban got power to win over a country this day, you don't you think like that there are various terrorist organization in the world, okay? So there are very small countries too. So if there are some countries which are having a high what you can say natural resources, if they get captured by some of the uh, terrorist organizations, then what will happen to the natural resources? How will the natural resources will be used further? So that is not just the topic of today, that if the Taliban is captured and now the Afghanistan only be affected. I don't know like what is the positive points. I only positive points see is that now less people are dying over there just because Taliban is not killing someone else to fight to the like with the government. Before earlier the military of the government and Taliban are fighting to each other and people are dying just for that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the history always tell that when dictatorship has come in sin, the human rights will die.
yeah, human rights will definitely
Yeah,
die.
yeah,
And
we have seen in the present in Kim Jong dictatorship. We have seen this in past Gaddafi dictatorship.
Yeah, but
yeah,
like in
and
dictatorship of King Jong Un, that North Korea, I think that's being portrayed a little bit like differently, because there was like a talk show or something by Prayas Kumar, Vijay Prakash or Prayas something. So he said a very beautiful point, like why a country who said like you are saying that that country is his king is dictatorship, is following is not following democracy, right? So why
Hmm.
such country will ever want to gain power over nuclear weapons, like from whom they need protection to develop these nuclear weapons, these nukes? So that's like what they said. This person said, Vijay Prakash or Prakash.
no,
So
I
Yeah,
heard the same
yeah,
thing.
so he said like there is no ground reporting. We are just cooking stories out of our mind only from remote
yeah,
places. So the actual thing that is happening over there could be different. Like maybe countries, maybe they are just attacking North Korea, and for protection they are developing these nukes and nuclear. They want to be nuclear power. So that's the thing with North Korea, I guess, which I agree with this
yeah.
person.
There is lot of fact in this.
Yeah,
We only have to express our thoughts and what
yeah.
we think.
Yeah, talking about that the nuclear weapon thing is like handling nuclear thing is a really like it's the work of a really great scientist. If you have a talented scientist and all, then you will be able to handle it properly.
Right.
Just like the nuclear weapons have a lot of damaging power. America used only twice, and all in the world only twice the nuclear weapon has been tested, and everyone has saw the result of that.
Consequences, right?
Just to yeah, just to ensure that it's not like the North Korea will use the nuclear weapon right away, but it's only due to the like the mindset of the ruler is uh, who's over there. He shot some person just because of an personal reason and all. So that is the thing, like everyone is fearing it off.
Mm-hmm.
So we will talk about North Korea some other day. There is a
Yeah,
history we have to
definitely.
read about, because we are just
Yeah,
listening to the news, and news is really been like it's presented in
manipulative.
whatever they do, like manipulating.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
So
manipulative.
and
One
uh,
day we should talk about the North
North
Korea
Korea someday, yeah.
and
yeah,
the history
and
of
we'll
North
study
Korea.
it. We'll study and we'll come over there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Abhishek, you are
If you
saying
talk
something.
about the North Korea, there is also involvement of America. So where the USA came, they actually have something different history.
The
Okay.
USA is their peacekeeper between South Korea and North Korea in the
So
border.
I have a point. Like, who was the first peacekeeper between the South Korea and North Korea region? The India is the power where, like in 1952 time. Okay, like India was the one who actually generate, like who is the middle of the South Korea and North Korea, and who actually protect the world from the third world war.
World War.
What happened between the, like when the Korea is getting partiated, na? North Korea is supported by China and Russia, okay, and America is sorry, South Korea is supported by USA, okay. So the India is only the power who can like who can contact every country on and that
Which
time.
year?
I'm audible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're audible.
Okay. So in like 1952, I didn't know the exact year. It's around 1952, where when the like the partition of Korea is into the North Korea and South Korea. Because at that time, Nehru have a great relation with the China also.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they convinced China and Russia so that they can like maintain a peaceful dialect there. So there is a history like wherever USA goes, there should be something literally different he did. Like he storms at the USA.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we'll talk about this someday later about this North Korea.
yeah,
And so, shall we wrap this up? Like, so shall we
yeah.
conclude?
Yeah,
Here
we
is a
can
great
wrap
session
this up.
today.
Yeah, it's already 30 minutes.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, so I will like to read about the Afghanistan little more,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know the current situation of it, and
okay.
we we know a lot about the past and what really has happened at that time. But as always, we just give very much emphasis on the time when there was something happening, and after 2 to 3 months or 2 to 3 weeks, we really don't know that what is the thing is happening
What's
over there.
happening right now? Yeah.
Same goes with the Ukraine-Russia war.
And same thing
Like
is happening right now
now,
in Kashmir also.
if you did check on that, yeah, it's today now. Like when we first heard, we were going to some place from Bilaspur to some Konya, we were going to Kota and something. Okay, and when we heard that Ukraine and Russia started the war, we stopped and Rishabh instantly checked that is this real or not.
Right.
And it was really shocking for us to know that
and
Russia is attacking
and
some
that
country.
that that time I lost my 40%. It's 60,000 money in rupees in just 2 or 3 hours.
Oh my God.
So the war does not takes money from you, does not takes money from your country, but also snatches from a point from pockets of many people you don't ever know. Okay, so war is really like a bad thing to
Yeah.
think of,
Like,
and we really fascinate war. Like everyone fascinates war. Everyone says that we will like
win
win
over
over
them. Yeah,
Pakistan. We
yeah,
will
yeah.
like just attack them and whatnot. But people who are coming from the war, they really know the pain of the war.
Yeah, but any war sets us back to 10 years or 5 years back. So that's war are always like devastating.
And now, like if any country suffers, the whole world will suffer. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just that
Yeah,
one country will suffer.
because of the geopolitics, right?
Yeah.
Anyways,
So I'm
yes.
done from my points,
Yeah.
and if something comes from, I will read it, and then we'll again continue this Afghanistan thing some
Yeah,
other
and we
day.
can also post it over the YouTube if
Yeah, with the exact
correct
information
fact.
and fact.
Mm-hmm.
Today
Yeah.
we
Today,
only
today we
discuss
came
our
just to share
thoughts.
our thoughts. Yeah. What
Yeah,
is our take on like
This.
we are not really supporting any nation. We are not really supporting any terrorist group to capture
yeah,
over some,
Neither we are
like
against of anything.
country and all.
Yeah, it's just
And we are
war.
not. But it's happened. No, it's not going back. If
Mm-hmm.
someone has to fix the thing, they have to attack the Afghanistan. Lot of people will die. Not only terrorists. As what there is some phrase that bullets don't see the terrorist or normal people. It just pierces through it. So it's not going back. It's like balancing the thing out there. Let's just hope that the
Things get.
there some the wisdom comes on the minds of the people who are ruling Afghanistan. So that is our wish for from this
Afghanistan, yeah.
uh, session.
Okay.
okay, that's good.
So thank you so much, guys. Let's wrap
It
this
is
up.
great session. Goodbye.